I cannot believe this. As the Toronto Maple Leafs come out looking like the better team for the first 10 minutes, they go up 2-0 and they fall to the Carolina Hurricanes in a game that saw a lot of things happen. Saw the defense collapse throughout majority of the game. It saw Joseph Woll let a few weak ones go by, and it saw Austin Matthews have arguably the worst 5-on-5 game of his career, and that top line with an absolute disaster showing tonight. William Nylander got back in the board. There's a lot to discuss here, but a rough loss. That being said, the Leafs are all coming off of 5 straight wins. Losses were going to happen. They're going to happen throughout the season, but welcome in everybody. Obviously not the game we all wanted. It was fun to watch for the first 40 or so minutes. The third period was rough there, and Darius, a loss is, we're not used to those. We haven't had a loss in a very long, like days-wise, in a few weeks here, because December 23rd or something, or just whatever it was.
It was.
So December 23rd is the last time we had a loss, and hopefully they can bounce back on Saturday. That's the big goal now against a Canadian team in the Vancouver Canucks, but a very, very unfortunate loss.
Well, we were talking off camera earlier today, even yesterday, and I kept telling you, I smell a loss in the air. I don't know what it is about Carolina and tonight and the fact that they've been playing really well, but I could just smell the loss coming. I feel like it was inevitable here, but not a great game. I mean, Joseph Woll, I think he made some pretty big saves, led in a couple stinkers that he should have had for sure, but sometimes he's going to have nights like that. But I think the defense tonight was abysmal. But the game, I mean, it was looking good there for a minute. They were up 2-0. Nylander had 3 breakaways, finally converted on 1, which is great. I missed a bit of the game as well, so I didn't see too much. But from what I saw in the third period too, just not great. The defense wasn't great, even the forwards. Bobby McMahon, I want to say this too off the start because I don't know how long we're going to go tonight. But Bobby McMahon, very frustrating player to watch. I finally came up with the words for it. Very frustrating player to watch because when he's on, he is unbelievable. And when he is not on, when he is off, that's all I can say. It's just a frustrating player to watch. Like it is just so awful to watch when he's off. It's like Nylander, just terrible to watch. But
He was a plus one, at least.
although he was a plus one tonight, I know. But which is actually pretty incredible. But Jordan Staal hat trick. It's tough, right? Carolina's a good team too. Let's not have that get lost in all this. Not like the Leafs lost to the Buffalo Sabres or the last place team in the league, Chicago Blackhawks or anything like that. So I think there's still positives to take from every single game, and I think they're going to bounce back on Saturday anyway.
Yeah, and Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, both -6s tonight on
Hey, is that good?
on the ice for every single goal that was let in, whether empty net or elsewhere. And obviously Matthew Nyes was a -5. At the end of the day, I'm not too stressed about it. It was a good nice. Yeah, Boston lost again. Tampa won. Again, standing wise,
Silver linings.
it didn't make a huge impact. John Tavares had an okay game. Nick Robertson had a pretty good game as well. William Nylander, an okay game. Probably should have, netted a couple more here. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, it was definitely not the game that we wanted to see. But they were due for a loss eventually. And what's up, Paul and Jose as well? Welcome in. They were due for a loss eventually. The defense tonight was disastrous, but also that top line was, I mean, terrible is an understatement at this point. I mean, it's the worst game I've seen from a top line ever. And Greg Berube switched up that top line, had a bunch. The lines were completely in a blender. So
Yeah, especially near the end, he was throwing combinations that I wouldn't even try ever. So he was just looking for anything there at the end, and it clearly did not work. I mean, they got some chances at the end, but just wasn't enough. And the goaltending wasn't enough either tonight. So it was just a bad mix. And you know what? They've been playing so well. They haven't lost since 2024. They haven't lost since last year. But it was coming. It was inevitable. And if you're going to lose to a team, especially in the last couple games, the last stretch, losing to Carolina, I'm not entirely mad about it. And if you look at their stretch, the next stretch, they play Vancouver, another team who's somewhat struggling this season compared to their expectations. So they play them Saturday. They play Dallas, who's a really good team, next Tuesday. Then you're playing New Jersey at home, which is another really good team. They've been rolling all season. You're battling with for the top of the Eastern Conference with a team like New Jersey. And the next Saturday, Montreal Canadiens in Montreal. They've been rolling as well. So hopefully they just, get back on track. They rebound Saturday and they'll be on their way because they have a couple tough games and opponents coming up. But again, this was a tough one against Carolina.
healthy scratch, Matty Lib. They're just giving him some rest. And
Healthy scratch.
ultimately, didn't. I mean, Pontus Holmberg didn't look good, but Nick Robertson looked pretty solid. Jake McCabe, we have an update in his front as well. There's a lot of different things regarding that. They started out well, but couldn't hold it. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty optimistic. They went up 2-0. I was thinking, wow, this team is really rolling right now. And then, some defensive collapses, really, really bad tonight. And it kind of just is what it is. I mean, at this point, you're looking at, the schedule ahead. I see a lot of Leafs fans out there and fans of other teams saying that the Leafs, easy schedule over the past, since the 23rd, and how haven't really, this is the first loss since they played a good team, but they did.
Whoa,
Oh, Blake with the
Blake.
13.99. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Blake, for the donation. I will let the super chat thing play out. I had a feeling the team was going to lose tonight because if we won, it would have been our sixth win in a row, and it's against Carolina. Can't win them all. Let's keep the positive vibes. Go Leafs, go. Yeah, absolutely. Blake, thank you very much for the donation, especially in a loss where the vibes are. I mean, my vibes are pretty good. I still feel very good about this team. They could have had a lot more goals than they had as well. A bit of unfortunate puck luck, a few different things, and a couple fortunate bounces for Carolina. Blake, thanks again for 13.99. I agree. Positive vibes. It just is what it is for me, and I don't know if anyone else in the chat is concerned or how we're feeling, but let's hit the like button as well. Let's try to get to 20 likes on this one. But yeah, I mean, I feel fine. Unfortunate, wasn't good, but it is what it is.
Doesn't feel good to lose, right? But you're gonna lose over the course of a season, and the fact that they lost to a pretty good team like that, I'm okay with that. Um, Vancouver, you got a couple guys out. There's a lot going on with them right now. You should be able to rebound against that team. It's at home. The next couple of games are at home, right? So you should be able to rebound here. And I think the Leafs have done that really well so far this season. So I'm not too concerned at all. And I know Joseph Wall, I was thinking about this too, halfway through the game where I was like, Joseph Wall could have had a couple saves tonight, but he did make a couple big saves, and he's going to have games like this, right, where he's not entirely perfect. So I think it's okay. I think he's going to bounce back. I think the Leafs will too next week, and it's a pretty big month, honestly. Like the schedule is pretty crazy the rest of this month. There's a good thing there's no too many back-to-backs, or not too many back-to-backs, I should say. So it's going to be an interesting month. But in terms of the schedule, I mean, it doesn't really necessarily get easier for them, but I think they'll lock in here and they'll be fine. I'm not worried at all. The way they've been playing, the style that they've been playing, I think tonight was just you know, just something, just a bad night.
Team looked kind
Not
of
too
gassed
concerned.
as well. I mean, Joseph, for whatever reason, but Joseph Wall didn't look great. Can't wait for Anthony Stars to come back. The blue line looked bad. They need to get Jacob McKay back. Connor Timmins, interesting night as well, and a lot of penalties. I don't think the rest did the Leafs any favors. There were a lot of
No.
no calls, but I mean, not this game was not on the refs. When McCabe is out, this team is so much different. Yeah, they were playing okay in his absence, but I mean, I do think that once McCabe comes back in, you'll probably see Connor Timmins come out. And this was the first game where we saw Berube, at least in a while, switch up the blue line again. So we saw I want Stolarz back. I do too. We saw them switch up the blue line, and they mixed up the pairings, specifically Tanev and all these different guys. So no more Tanev and Myers, but
Put them back. Put them back tomorrow.
yeah, and then it
Put
was
those
it
fans
was probably the
back.
worst defensive game of the season the second they split it up. So it's interesting. What's up, Mark? Was wondering if trade rumors buzzing was affecting play at all. I wouldn't say. But
There isn't there isn't anything too big around the Leafs right now. Like there's a lot kicking around, but I haven't heard too much besides Nick Robertson, so I don't think that should affect anyone else's morale at this time at least.
yeah, with the Boston loss and the Blue Jackets and Penguins win, the Bruins are out of the final wild card. Yeah, I mean, at least we're not Bruins fans right now. At least we're not Bruins fans because they're down
Free
even.
falling.
They're down even worse. Which, to their credit, or to our credit, again, like a loss tonight. These are just games throughout the season you're gonna have. Just stinkers. And it wasn't even that much. It was still fun to watch for most of it until it got
Yeah.
not fun to watch. And that's the biggest thing here is that. And yeah, Eric's right on the money now. That Matthews goal was insane. I mean, yeah, there were still some positives. Well, you can take take the positives out of this. Yeah, it was nasty. You see it in the thumbnail. I mean, at the end of the day, it's
It was nice. It was nice. And not only his, like Nylander's, like I found myself when I watched the goal, I was like, because I missed the first period entirely. I was like, how does he do that? Like, I just don't know how he does that. He's so like nonchalant and like so pinpoint accurate. It's unbelievable. So he's
you could have had a couple more.
could have had a hat trick tonight. Could have had a hat trick, but I've never seen it. I would like to know what the record for breakaways in a season is because he's got to be getting there. He's pretty crazy too. But a couple of people brought it up. McCabe, this team, I think we're really starting to see this season what he means to this team. He is a great defenseman and big part of this team. I'm glad they locked him up for the foreseeable future, and I hope he comes back soon and this doesn't affect, like, I hope it's not a concussion or anything because they were saying like concussion like symptoms. They didn't officially say he has a concussion or anything like that. So hopefully he's okay. He's back soon, ready to rock because man, there's a big difference without him in the lineup. He is a big part of this team. So I'm excited to see him back. But the Eastern Conference, I want to touch on this too. Boston has just fallen out of the wild card race
Yep,
there.
like Eric said.
The
Yeah.
P- the Penguins and the Blue Jackets are in. Like, what is going on with the East this year? This is so like the Canadians are hovering around, the Senators are hovering around. I mean, the Rangers technically aren't out of it yet. This has been a weird one. This has been a weird year.
Yeah, and the Leafs, despite this loss tonight, it's really about how they bounce back on Saturday. And if they only have another unfortunate game Saturday, then maybe there'll be a conversation about Leafs not playing good. If playoffs started tomorrow, would you roll with Wall or Stolarz, assuming both are fully healthy? Habs Digest, he's scouting. Habs Digest is scouting. We actually had this conversation on our stream on Tuesday. The
Yep.
answer is for me, Stolarz, definitely.
Anthony Stolarz. If both were healthy and playoffs started tomorrow, it's Anthony Stolarz for sure. That being said, I still have faith in Joseph Woll, but it's definitely Anthony Stolarz. He hasn't even. I would say he has one. He's had one bad game all season.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
he's been
he's been
one of the best.
unbelievable.
And Wall's been solid too as of late, but Stolarz doesn't have many games like this one where just a lot of. I feel like if Stolarz was net healthy, maybe less than three, probably less than three. And again, it wasn't all Wall's fault by any means. I mean, there was really bad defensive plays, but at the same time, it was it sucks because it's coming off of such a good game from Wall as well, which
It
is
goes it goes hand in hand though. Like was the defense great? No, but like you'd like a save in some of these situations at times. He made some big saves tonight still. I don't want to take anything away from him, but there's times where you're like would like a save there and would like you to help us at least give us a chance to win here. But I don't think they gave him a chance to succeed either. So it goes both ways. It was a two-way street tonight. And the
uh
and the first line was terrible.
minus six, minus six, minus six, minus six, minus five. No longer undefeated in 2025 was bound to happen. Yeah, I mean, it was going to happen eventually. I mean, realistically, they were going to lose eventually. They weren't going to go on a 15-0 like I hoped. 15-0 Winnipeg Jets run. But, I mean, they didn't even look completely terrible tonight, and that's at least a positive sign. Like, they were pressing really well, almost had a bunch of goals in the third period. I'm scouting here, looking at the defense time on ice. Is this normal spread in the stinker? Would you normally have some guys playing 23 minutes? Seeing all six guys around the same time on ice is pretty interesting as Blake Sim comes in with a 699. Hey, Habs Digest. Play you in the first round, receiving you 4-0. I agree with Nick. I did make that call, and I will stand by that call.
You did
Blake,
say that.
shout out to you. Thank you, Blake.
You did say that. I
Regarding
think
the
that's
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
regarding the time on ice, um, I mean, like, it depends. It's partially because they were they were playing really bad and they had everything in a like Brule just changes things up a lot of the time. Usually under a normal circumstance, though, yeah, you'll definitely see Morgan Riley. He's not been playing. He had a really bad game tonight, but usually you'll see OEL Morgan Riley hovering between 22 to 23 minutes, and Jake
Yeah,
McCabe as well. But him being out, you're going to play Connor Timmins and Philip Myers a bit less. But when fully healthy, definitely some guys over 20 to 23.
yeah, I think he was mixing around with stuff tonight, so a lot of the guys are very even. That's a good point, actually. Like I didn't even notice that, but usually, yeah, it's like Morgan Riley up there. OEL has played a lot at times this season, and then obviously McCabe logs a lot of minutes. I think he's usually around 2021. So this is not normal. They're missing McCabe big time, so
Yeah.
need to get him back in the lineup. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. I didn't notice that tonight, actually.
Do you guys think the Leafs get a third line center for the deadline? What's up, Eric? Again? Absolutely. Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah,
They probably might
yeah, I
give
think
more
that's
than that.
number one priority. I think definitely more than that, but that's number one priority right now.
And Max Domi, yeah, I mean, get Pontus Holmberg. I don't want to see him play hockey ever again for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, hi guys. At least the start was better. Start was fun. Had my hopes super high. 2-0. I was already envisioning the electric post game stream win, 6 wins in a row, but got humbled pretty quickly. Pretty quickly, which is the way things go. It's the way it goes. Not
They were
upset
in it
about
for a minute. They were in it for a
it. It
minute.
was a
It was
fun game to
3-3.
watch. It's fine.
It was good.
Saturday, huge game against the Canucks. We're still first in the Atlantic. We have a lot of cushion. First in the Atlantic. Got to keep pressing though because some of the teams like the Lightning who won have games in hand on the Leafs. So it's got to keep going, and I do think they will. I don't think
I'm
it's knocked
not
out.
I'm not too concerned about the Lightning. I think it's just the Panthers for me this year.
Panthers.
But I mean, with the results tonight, I mean, New Jersey did not, they lost in overtime, so they did get a point, but they're still behind the Leafs. So the Leafs are top five in the league still
Yeah,
as
I
of
mean,
tonight. So
best case scenario tonight as Paul comes in with the 10. Paul, thank you so much. Your guys' support tonight is incredible for a loss here. I'm just wondering if there's actually been a stretch of season when all their players have been healthy, their new style is effective, but pretty hard on the players. Very good point. I think there has definitely been, but I mean, unless you count Yanni Hakanpää, it's been a
I mean,
little
if
bit.
we're we're not counting Hakanpää. He's playing the Four Nations Cup. No, I don't think they have been because if you want to include goaltenders, they have not been all season. They haven't. So I don't know if there's been a game where you could say, "Yep, everybody's been there, fully healthy." So,
The goal is
but
when
that's
Stolarz comes back
never
because McCabe
happens.
should be back, and then Stolarz comes back, and then you ride into Four Nations Cup and things like that. Paul, thanks you again for the 10.
Ideally. Thank you again, Paul. Blueface Scar. Do you think they'll trade one of the goalies after this season?
Mm,
No. Joseph Wall is getting a big contract extension or big
yeah,
raise, I should say, next year.
starts
Anthony
next year.
Stolarz starts next year. Stolarz is signed next year. No reason.
Yeah, they'll probably keep both.
Yeah. Yet. No reason to yet.
Also, hit the like button if you're in here. Let's try to get to 20. We're at 12. If you like seeing numbers go up, click that. Get to 20 likes. Trade Murray. Sports Insiders talk about the Leafs looking at a third center in the second intermission. The Leafs are linked to Yanni Gordon, Scott Lofton. Yep. We've
I
been
like Lawton.
preaching that. Yanni Gordon's
Really
been
like
a
Lawton.
big one too.
He's since we're on the topic, he's a little small, which isn't like he knows how to play it the right way, so I would still take him on my team, but he makes a lot of money and he has no term. So that would be tough for me. But I like Scott Lawton a lot. He fits exactly what they need.
What a, that -6 is crazy. All right, Darius, want to get in 3 stars?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get into it. Blake, do you want to call in for
This is gonna be a
the
tough
or
one here.
Blake or Eric? Do either of you want to call in for the 3 stars tonight, or we'll do this one on our own, given the unfortunate loss. You can't play Robertson in the playoffs. Got a goal tonight, but he can't keep it together. I hate Robertson. Trade him. I mean, he had a pretty good game tonight, but yeah, I
The
mean,
ending the ending of that is pretty crazy, but
he had a good, he had a very good game. 5 shots on goal, throwing his body around a little bit, didn't get a hit, a goal,
he
and
had a couple chances
Mitch Marner almost had. I can't believe Austin Matthews was a -6 with a goal.
with a goal. Yeah. No, it's horrible. That's a tough night.
Makes me sick to my
With
stomach.
he's a -6 with a goal, by the way, because the goal was on the power play.
Yeah. Because they only didn't score 7. They
So
only scored
yeah.
6 goals. They only.
So it looks, I guess, a little bit worse than
I
it
mean,
is maybe, but
it's about the worst
it
I've
still
seen.
doesn't look great. Yeah.
It's about the worst I have seen. All right, we can go ahead and.
Yeah. Third star of the night, Steven Lorentz, because of the work he did on the first goal. I think it was the first goal. Nick Robertson, 2 minutes in. Yep. Steven Lorentz. I thought that was a great play by him. And he's playing on the third line. I was like, how is he going to handle this? How he's going to continue to handle it? And he's been doing well. So Steven Lorentz is my third star tonight.
I'm gonna go with John Tavares. I just like the way he played visually. I mean, he didn't have a fantastic game. No one really did. Honorable mention to Matthew, not even Matthew Nyes. I'm not. It's so weird. What a weird game tonight. None of the defense are getting one, and a lot of the. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna go John Tavares 2 or 3. Go ahead. Go ahead with yours.
Nick Robertson, second start tonight,
Yeah,
gets a goal. Started
I
off the
agree.
game strong. I thought he had some good chances the rest of the game, just couldn't convert. One of them was a crazy save late in the third, I believe. Goaltender was like on his back,
What's up,
so
Duster?
that was tough. But what's up, Duster? But yeah, second star.
Mine
Nick
is
Robertson.
also Nick Robertson for the same reasons, with an honorable mention Steven Lorentz and Max Domi as well. I think Domi had a pretty good game.
Third line wasn't bad. It looked all right. Had some jump at times. First star, I'm gonna go with William Nylander.
Yeah, I agree.
Finally bumped his slump. I thought he looked pretty
I
good
did
at
the same.
times tonight, but yeah, I mean, not much honorable mention. Maybe Chris Tanev. I don't know. Like he broke up a couple of plays, but the defense was horrible tonight. So that's a tough one. It's always fun doing these ones when it's not obvious. So
Yeah,
or
also
it is obvious, I should say.
mine is
Because
also William Nylander. Nick and Darius, more at least looking for someone that's bigger than 6'1". Interesting. A big player. What's up, Crunchy? JK Josh, boys, when's the watch along? And Nick, we need a Jays live soon. Duster, I was gonna go live tonight. We'll probably have one Sunday, maybe on the Jays at least. Yeah, watch along coming for the Amazon games as well. All right, guys. Any final thoughts? A quick one tonight. Support was still great, and the turnout was still good. Jim, are you okay? Jim is probably. I wonder where Jim is. Wonder where Jim is tonight.
Jim is doing his thing.
He's doing his thing after a brutal
He's
loss.
just doing his thing after a loss. Sometimes you just need to do your own thing after a loss.
I'm sure we'll see him Saturday.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big win, so I'm sure we'll see everybody here.
Any final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen? Still a good turnout. We're 3 likes away from 20. Rough game. Happens. They're going to win the next one. Very confident in that on Saturday. Vibes are still good for me. Vibes
They're playing well.
immaculate right now. Still for me. Like, yeah, it was a bad loss, but like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, sometimes you just need to.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, in the beer is interesting. But no, sometimes you're just gonna have losses like this. So who sits out Saturday?
Pontus Holmberg.
Probably Holmberg. If you want Reeves to come back in, you're gonna have to sit somebody else as well. I don't think it's Robertson. I think Robertson has now again earned himself. He's doing what he did last year. Every time he gets scratched and gets put back in, he
Yeah.
scores. And then he'll go a couple games without doing anything. So he's doing the exact same thing. So we'll see. I wonder if you take a look at Holmberg for sure, and maybe Robert or not Robertson. Sorry, Reeves stays out of the lineup. I think that would be interesting to see what Brube has in mind. But something's changing. You have to bring Pacioretty back in Saturday.
New win streak starts Saturday. Mark my words. We will be here following the game for a live stream like usual. Thank you to Paul Blake, everybody who tuned in, everybody who Patches does get back in, I believe. Crunchy 100%. Thank you guys for your support. Like usual, you guys are the best Leafs community. We'll have a video for you all tomorrow. It's going to be a good one, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And game in a couple days. Let's start a new win streak. Tough loss tonight, but the boys will bounce back. Take it easy.
Leafs Digest, your daily dose of gold. Stories of the bold where legends are told. From first puck drop to the season's full. Tune in and watch the drama.